Ari says, why hasn't The Rock been cast for a Batman movie? Waiting for hashtag Bruce Dwayne. Would you watch Dwayne The Rock Johnson as Batman?
Bruce Dwayne. What's too big? So anyway.
Oh, hey Jay, everybody. Welcome if you're just getting in here. We're still pulling ourselves together a little bit, so we'll give people a couple minutes, I think. And we'll dance while we wait.
We will.
Neff and Joseph's video and audio are good.
Oh, thank you. Neff and Joe's got our backs, as always. And Aiden is on today, too?
Yes.
I saw him earlier.
Cool. Great. There was honestly talk about even adding another mod or two in the future if we need them. As the channel grows, because we've gotten a little bigger. Even since you were last here on a live stream with us.
When I left, Random Encounters was about to cross 1 million subscribers.
Surprise!
I come back 3 months later and you guys are, 1 million? 1.5 million?
Yeah. YouTube is now displaying on the Creator Studio, rounding up to 2 million already.
Wow.
Which is crazy. I didn't know that. I'm like, wow, you guys are getting ahead of yourselves, but apparently they don't do the 1 point whatevers. Yeah. Hey, Jay, everybody. Welcome to a live chat for July. I'm like, what month are we in?
July. We're in July.
Our names are over our heads, but we'll introduce ourselves anyway because it's more fun that way. So I'm AJ.
Okay.
Wait, are we literally just saying our names?
What do you do?
I was in Baldi's Basics as the player character. And I write and direct a lot of the videos here in Random Encounters. So if you go on like Twitter or something, I'm often the one answering your tweets or tweeting out dumb stuff you didn't ask for.
Woo!
That's my thing.
Yay. I'm Nate. I was Baldy.
No.
Baldi's Basics. Or in the last month, if you obviously saw that one, I was Granny in the Granny musical.
Can you give us a granny cackle just to prove it? He's the real deal. It's really him. Horrifying.
Yeah.
I'm Peter.
Who is?
And I'd like to ask the mods which direction the video and audio are out of sync in, so that I can adjust that. So let me know.
Because he does a lot of the tech and he's awesome at it. He pays attention to these things that
I
was gonna say, how many months have we been out of sync? Which is like,
They never said we were out of sync before.
I mean, I used to do a lot of tech, but I haven't for 3 months because I've been learning to write and code and build video games.
oh
So
my goodness, we
that's
play
been fun.
those.
That's been fun.
We like video
He's
games
building a Death Star.
for 3 months. He's already got 2 of them going,
a
actually.
Playable Death Star? Like, can we go
playable
in the
one.
trench and like destroy
Playable.
things?
Yes, you can actually blow up planets with it. It's playable. Did it help to sync when I baldied over here?
What? What is whatever?
That's helping
Okay.
sync.
Oh,
Alright.
I
All right, so if you guys don't know filmmaking, you can use a clapboard, and when the little hand claps down, that's where it makes the point of like noise and picture should be united, and so that's why they use those in movies and go like take one, and they slap it. So you can do that actually with your hands too, and go like take 2, and everybody knows to sync to that point in the audio and the video.
Are you gonna me?
And before
I don't
we
know
get...
who I give this to.
Too carried away.
Who wants to?
I'm Gwen. Hi. I played Playtime in Baldi's Basics. And I was the player character in Granny and other things. Yeah.
It's like
I'm
petting a
okay.
cat. Where's the mouse? Is it off?
Do you want me to bring
Oh.
the table closer? Or
Okay.
you need to be closer?
There we go. All right. So, we'll get into the rules in just a second. I want to acknowledge a couple of super chats that are already coming in.
Woohoo.
We'll get to that one in a second. I want to
You
get the
can
first
acknowledge
one.
the rules while you.
Neff has
find
already
them.
put them on the
Oh,
Discord.
perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Neff and Joe. Oh, okay. So, we had a super chat already from... Is that
Pure light.
Pure Lightness?
Or
Okay.
Pure
Pure
Litness.
Litness. Pure
Oh,
Litness. Thank you.
yes.
Yes, Pure Litness. It's like fitness, but it's litness. Thank you for the super chat. And it looks like there was a message to it.
I love your songs. Keep it up.
Thank you. We will do our best. And then we've got not super ball guy, baseball guy. You are probably super in my head. Who says, in the future, can you do a FNAF custom night? You are probably not alone. A lot of you probably would like to see that. No promises about FNAF. And that's one of the things we actually always say at the beginning of the chat is, if your question is, will you do a musical based on whatever the game title is? The answer is probably maybe. We'll do our best to confirm a couple that we're actually actively working on, but everything else is a maybe. Who knows? Maybe one day we'll see to it, or we won't. Can't promise.
He's a weird mangy cat.
Isn't he?
Yeah.
He's so fluffy.
We also got one from Spark Bell,
Oh, hi, Spark Bell.
who says, "Gotta sweep, sweep, sweep."
That was a good impersonation.
So
We
Also
all gotta
likes-
sweep, sweep, sweep.
Also
feel
likes
like-
your Yuri.
all these super chats coming in is time to post
Yep.
one of our rules.
Yeah.
If you're super chatting, we're only going to read the first super chat that you send us. So make your questions count, because if you're going to be like, I'm going to donate this little amount and ask a question, and then 5 minutes later, I'm going to donate this little amount and ask another question, we're only going to read your first question, because otherwise the chat gets
Yeah.
Bogged down,
too
yeah.
flooded with super chat questions, and we don't get to any questions from people who aren't super chatting.
Yeah. So we appreciate it. And if you don't know how to super chat, use the little currency icon down in the chat next to your emoticons. And that will start super chat, which we will try to acknowledge, but only the first time.
Send the video in advance.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say we got one from
Yeah,
Dark
I
Coyote
assume
that says the
If it's
video
out
is in
sync,
advance.
The video's coming first before the audio.
Oh.
Maybe, I don't know.
Gotcha.
Hopefully
That
that's
makes
been
sense.
resolved, but do let us know if you're noticing a lot of tech problems still, and we'll continue to fight the good fight. How's about that? What other rules are there? Oh, I already, man, can't keep ahead of you
Ellie,
guys.
Carl, super chat. You guys are the best. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
You're the best for super chat.
So take that. How about that? In your face, dude.
So yeah, question rules. If you have a question for us, type the word question in all caps, followed by your question. AJ already said if it's about will we make blank musical, answer's always maybe. So ask something else that you want to know.
What else? We've got 2 moderators. I think we sort of introduced them, but we'll do it again. Neffinjo and Aiden are lurking in the chat. They have certain rules. Please be respectful to them, because they are part of the community like you. They have been around for a really long time. They have been in so many chats, as many as pretty much any of us, I think.
Longer than me.
I was gonna say longer than
Yeah.
some of us. Yeah, and so, for example, don't use profanity. Do not spam a whole bunch of emoticons, or else you will be put into timeout. And slow chat is on, so that you cannot post constantly and flood the chat. If you do, you might get a warning, or at least you'll be prevented. So just don't do it. We don't do shout outs, so don't spend your time asking us to read your name out loud. Instead, spend that time asking a really good question, so that we read your name out loud when we answer it.
Although we did do something last month that I kind of liked. We wished
Oh.
everyone in June a happy birthday if your birthday is
did
in
do
June.
that.
Oh.
We
So
did.
if your birthday is in July, happy birthday.
Happy birthday! It's your birthday month. It's your birth month. That works.
Yes.
Yeah, that's exciting. Anybody here born in June, July? I mean,
No.
No.
neither. Okay.
No.
I'm waiting for next month. I got a birthday next month, so I'll be with you guys that are August babies. Crater Mystic just sent us all a merch T-shirt. I hope you sign it for me. And then she hides.
Bye.
Well, Mystic, thank you. We'll be getting your shirt if you're still here, if you're not hiding too much. We'll get your shirt. We do have a fan mail address with a P.O. box. You can find it on our About section of the YouTube channel. So take a look if you want to mail us something. In fact, I got to show you guys something I got in the mail yesterday.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Is this
He
the one
greeted
that you
me at
told
the door
about?
with this, guys.
Oh, no, it's not. Okay.
Although I did tell Peter about that one. You can tell them about that one, Peter.
He's been doing it too. Someone sent Mr. Meow's fan mail, apparently,
Yes.
and they basically asked him to make some guest appearances on videos and live chats. And Mr. Meows has been very vocal today. He's
Man
been
upstairs.
meowing about. I don't know what's happening.
While he's doing this, we'll answer this super chat. John Hummel, thanks for the super chat. They said, I really enjoy all of your content. Thank you for all of your hard work. And question, what musical so far was your favorite to work on this year?
This year,
This year.
Oh, man.
Oh,
that's awesome that they narrowed it down.
I'm
But
gonna
yours
guess
is
easy
super
for me.
narrow.
I'm going to say DDLC for Peter.
DDLC for me, for sure.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Super.
Because it's only Cuphead and DDLC. And
Yeah.
Cuphead was a nightmare, probably.
That was also worked on last year, so it's ambiguous. Nate, what was your favorite of the year?
I enjoyed Granny.
Yeah.
Granny was fine. It was fun.
I was thinking about Granny too. I think Baldi was a lot of fun to do. I want to be weird and say Detective Pikachu,
Wow.
because I feel like there were a lot of like, as like a fan of Pokemon games, and we've worked on so many of the musicals. There was something fun about the opportunity to build more of like a world and a canon behind that universe, and we also had a really fun brand integration we got to put in for Amino in there. So Detective Pikachu actually, even though you guys, Encounterers in general, didn't enjoy it as much, I liked it a lot.
I mean, the people who watched it enjoyed it.
True, that's fair.
Weirdly, I think I have to go with Detective Pikachu too. I think that was just, for me, it was the most fun costume to put on. Being Jessie
Detective
is always
Pikachu too.
awesome.
I was gonna say Mimikyu.
Oh, well,
There was a lot.
that was fun in a different way.
Yeah, we got to do a lot of fun stuff. By the way, I'm wearing this awesome. What do you call it? It's a hoodie scarf. I was like, a scarf hat. What do they call these? A hoodie scarf. I have to double check the name. She goes by DC, but I don't remember the cosplayer.
Okay, so that's not like official merch. That's
No,
no.
You got it in the mail.
No, this
yesterday.
is something that fans made, and it's comfy and cozy, and it's a hat and a scarf all at once. And these are the cool things and the creative stuff that like Encounters like you guys are making and sending to us, and that's awesome. So I think it's the best, like, craziest thing in the world to open up a box, be like, what is this thing? And then put it on and be like, it's so warm and squishy.
So I've seen more people talking about the audio sync.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Mods, what direction is it now? Because I was trying to fix it, but I apparently failed. In the meantime, don't look at my profile picture. Had a question.
Okay.
Who played Sweeping Time? Obviously the best.
Obviously the best person.
I was sweeping time.
Yeah, Nate generally did that.
I
Did you
controlled
voice
him.
too?
Yes, I did. It
Yeah.
was me. I was like, go sweep, sweep, sweep.
It's pretty good. It's pretty spot on. Oh,
And then we've got Gavin Smith / Funtime Gav the Cartoon Fox / Wolf.
whoa! You're
Hi
so-
Gwen, AJ, Nate, and welcome back, Peter.
Thank
Hi.
you. We got one more, it looks like, actually, that we didn't get to
Yeah.
yet.
Adam Plant said, "Can you do a CSGO song?" I don't know what CSGO stands for. Does anybody else?
Hold on.
Sorry, Peter's
There.
checking sync.
Let's see here. CSGO.
Comfy socks.
Go. It's
Go.
like Pokemon Go. It's an augmented reality game on your phone where you wear comfy socks.
I
places.
don't know what that is. None of us seem to know what that is, but
No.
the answer is always maybe. Maybe.
As I said before, we'll do some of them. We won't do
Audio's
others.
still
It's just the way it
slightly
works.
before. Yet.
Video.
Defend-
Oh, that's
says-
the opposite.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Well, that's the
Uh-oh.
third time I've seen that. So.
And Yen says about half a second, but we don't know which direction.
Alright, let's try to find some.
So, Nathan Joe says she saw the clap before she heard the clap.
Adventures
Give us a
in
second.
Technology.
Sorry.
Why was this not a problem for you guys?
You know-
maybe they just didn't care. I don't know.
They were just like they're doing their best. we don't demand perfection from the other three, but from Peter,
I don't know.
We're sorry.
I never messed with any settings. I
Yeah,
just, like,
my
opened it
guess.
up and
My guess is that I'm just back and it hates
it
me.
knows it,
Oh, that
and
can't be.
it knows it.
So anyway,
Is that better?
probably not.
Oh. Well, anyway, yeah, we had a
Okay,
super
nothing.
chat that we didn't get to yet. I think up
We
there.
did?
No.
We got that one.
Oh,
up
we
top.
did get one now.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, we're good.
Pretty
Cool.
We got it
All
while
right.
you were flying around like a plane.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was distracted. Oh. We did talk about merch. If you guys want merch, for example, a Foxy shirt like this, we have those in the link down in the description as well.
Sorry,
Excellent.
I laughed because Nafenjo just said that there were indeed no synchronization issues while I was away.
Oh.
So it's on me, I guess.
Ghost.
Cool.
That's
Alright,
okay.
Let's find some questions.
You can either
Yeah.
have Peter here, or you can have proper sync. Apparently, you can't have both.
I prefer proper sync because
We traded-
technical.
We traded getting Peter back for not quite having spot on sync today. Question: if you could be a character in a musical that you didn't play, who would it be? So this is a Blaze Girl question.
If you
Also,
could be-
love your channel.
A character in a musical that you didn't play.
I
assume-
think that's a character. Like it, you could be a character that you didn't play before, but
Like
you could be that.
be.
Yeah, we had a question that was similar to this I think,
Monica.
about a month ago.
Or Monica.
Yeah, for example.
Yeah, if you want to be Monica.
Who
had this question last time. I feel
Yeah,
like.
no, I was
We did.
So I'll say this thing I said last time. I'd be Wario.
Wario. He'd be really good as Wario.
So,
I would have liked to be the principal in Baldi. I think that would have been a fun one. Because I say that a lot. Yeah, I'd be like, Mario in the halls.
I don't like acting.
So none of them.
You could voice act
I
somebody,
can't actually
though.
control this from here. Somebody else has to.
No running in the halls.
Oh.
I don't.
Nobody.
I don't know. Like,
Nobody.
I feel like I've gotten the opportunity to play most of the ones that I wanted to play. No, that's not true. So when I did Yandere with them, which was my first musical with Random Encounters, I got told that I was going to get murdered. And I was not murdered.
True.
I was one of the few surviving characters.
That's true.
And I was a little disappointed. So any of the girls that got murdered in Yandere, I would have rather play.
Oh.
Aww.
If you could go back and play one of them.
Yes.
We have a couple super chats. Looks like
What?
Annalise von Naida. Sorry, I probably butchered your name. Hey guys, my B-day in July. Well, we wished everyone in July a happy birthday. So.
Congratulations.
We'll wish you specifically one.
That includes
Happy
you.
birthday, Annalise.
And then Donut Boy asks, "Hey, how you doing?" I mean, I had it more formal, but
Yes.
Technically it was, hello, how are you?
hello, how are you doing? But it's
Hello.
here to say, "Hey, how you doing?"
Oh, how you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're doing okay.
most of us just woke up. I'm guessing so.
Yeah.
I woke up
Actually-
at 4:30 a.m.
I was going to ask
well,
because I know
went
that
to
you
bed at 4 a.m.
have a sleeping schedule that's a little off. So
Yeah, my sleep schedule is just kind of a chameleon of whoever lives in the house. So while I was here, my sleep schedule was approximately what AJ's and Nate's were, and then now that I'm living just with Sparrow, my sleep schedule is hers. So I just kind of
it makes
I
sense.
adapt.
It's
I
nice to be
guess.
able to see your roommates.
Yeah.
Okay, so a question from Awesome Seal. What is your next musical gonna be?
Oh, this is the question all the people in the Discord were waiting to hear.
Oh.
They've been speculating and
Good on you, Awesome Seal.
theorizing because I had popped in and said that we would most likely announce it. And
Yeah.
now they've been losing their minds.
And there you go. Here's somebody who's trying to get that answer for you. So I guess maybe we should confirm the next musical, huh? Probably.
Sure.
All right, Peter, you want to do the honors?
Well, apparently we are doing a Medic versus Heavy musical.
I wouldn't call it a versus so much
Fair.
as
Medic and Heavy musical.
yeah.
From TF2.
They're on the same team.
And so I will be singing that one, and AJ will be acting it. Are you going to be the Heavy again, Nate?
I assume I'm the heavy again.
Yeah. So that should be interesting and kind of fun. I was working on the music just last night, and the people on Patreon have been getting small updates about this, but they haven't seen anything major. So hopefully within the next week, there will be some real progress reports to start sharing about that. But that, hypothetically, is this month's musical. There is going to be a disruption. The three of us, on this end of the couch are heading to Kineticon next week, which is going to probably be right in the middle of filming. So I don't know how that's going to affect things yet. But I hope, by the way, to see you guys at Kineticon. I think, again, we have links to the website to go register, but it's kineticon.org. And we're going to be there from the 12th to the 15th. And we've got several panels, including one, I think, with, who's the other?
Oh, darn it.
Channel Awesome.
Channel Awesome, thank you. Yes, Nostalgia Critic, people like that. So, yeah, we have a joint panel, I think, with them doing just some general YouTube question and answer stuff. Here's a super chat from the soundboard. Can you do Discord the musical? I want to see that. Like Discord, like for My Little Pony, or Discord like what we're using right now
That's
to
a
like
good
chat with the
point. I
moderators.
think we actually had like a script for a Discord musical way back when we were.
Oh, yeah, when we were back in the show, I actually wanted to do like an actual musical that had several songs in it based on the show, and there'd be an entire storyline that would go through, which is basically like a My Little Pony movie, which they made. So they didn't need that, but a Discord chat musical?
I'm gonna say that's probably a no.
Probably, no.
As much as we say maybe, the maybe is generally when you
For
ask about
games,
games.
yeah.
Yeah, the Discord chat, the musical sounds like a bad
I think
idea.
you'd just be using, people's like lines that they contribute in a chat, which sounds like a recipe for a really disjointed and uncomfortable musical. Oh!
Huh.
We're not allowed to read your name, but thank you for your super chat.
Say Crimson.
We'll call you Crimson.
Yes. Question: what inspired you to make musicals?
Excellent question. I think the lack of other musicals was part of the reason. If you want to stand out on the internet, a good way to do it is to be providing something that, I mean, this is probably a real life lesson too. If you want to stand out in life, provide something that there's not an abundance of already, but that people still want. It's kind of like supply and demand. If you become the only supplier of something, then you can assume that whatever demand exists will have to come through you. And so when we started Random Encounters in 2011, there were not really video game musical channels. Now there's a lot of video game music channels, but we're still one of the only ones that take and create like a whole universe out of the game in real life, and we'll have the characters singing a song and things like that. So it's still kind of a niche thing that we get to control a lot of the turf of. That's one of the reasons I think we did it. Plus, we just have a decent musical background. So, excellent question. Oh, well, not everybody does.
I was gonna say none of us have like any musical training though.
No, but several of us have musical
Well, yes,
interests.
band and all those things.
Yeah. I mean, we were writing songs for even our stupid spoof videos way back in the day. Like, Nate and I did a video game website, and half the stupid videos we made had a theme song at the beginning, inexplicably enough.
That's true.
Yeah, it's weird. It's one of those things you notice.
That super chat is from somebody who's already.
Yeah,
Okay.
sorry, Annalise, but we already answered one from you, so we're moving on. Thank you for your donation.
I guess I should talk a little bit about what's coming up from me.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, because you've been on a break, so we'd love
Yeah.
to hear a progress report
Yeah.
about what you're interested in and how you're moving.
So I've been absent from the channel for about 3 months, and during that time, AJ, they already told you in other streams that I wasn't just like sitting on my hands somewhere. I was doing work. I was learning. I've been learning to write video games, and we are seriously looking into basically opening a video game development division of Random Encounters. So hopefully in the next few years we're going to start seeing actual games from some of our personal characters like the Beard or Sweeping Man or of course Enos. So that's kind of what's in the future. You're not going to exactly see anything right now because like A, I'm still learning, and B, video games take longer than musicals.
Which you guys already find a really long
Yes.
time to wait for.
Yes, but that is a thing that is hopefully happening. So yeah, that's really exciting, and well, I'm excited. I don't know about them, but we'll see. Hopefully, I can provide them stuff to be excited about one day.
We look forward to being excited.
Yes.
Oh, Peter's already shared some of the temp games that he's been working on. I don't know whether you want to talk about any of those or
Well,
not.
some of them are not allowed to.
Okay,
Oh.
fair enough.
Well, they're really neat. Like
well,
for
one
those
of
of us
them-
that have seen little
yes.
snippets of them,
Thank you.
they're
One of them I'm not allowed to.
Sure.
You know which one.
Yeah. So that's pretty exciting that we've already gotten a look at what he's able to do and what he's interested to do. And certainly, I mean, we love games. I assume you guys like games. So hopefully we all jointly get to experience some of the game design that Peter's been working on.
And then if you guys make any of the video games that we make go viral, we can make a musical about it.
That seems like cheating. I don't
Right?
know.
Doesn't it? It's great.
Uh-huh.
We could have a shovel werewolf game.
There was a question from Luke Gregory
Taking it down.
I wanted to answer. Can you explain about your new Patreon tiers?
Good point.
Which is
I
a little
can't.
bit like a shameless plug, but we'll do it anyway. Yeah, so Patreon got a little bit of an overhaul. There are some new goals there, but specifically the tiers have changed a bit. At this point, we're trying to give out more music to people, including stuff that wasn't previously available. So I think of the tiers that are most interesting, in my opinion, there is a $15 tier at this point that allows you not only to get the instrumental for whatever the new musical is going to be, but then one that's kind of voted on by other people in the tier, and then one that I pick from way back that you guys might not even know existed. And we've gotten in the practice of trying to give out a little bit extra if some of the songs had more music involved with them. Oh, which one I'm going to click on?
This one.
It's already written down.
it's fine.
Oh, it's
We
okay.
got it.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, our moderators are doing a good job.
Yeah, I was going to say moderators are on this today. So anyway, if you want to check out Patreon, I'm sure there's a link in the description. But yeah, it's a good way to support the channel. One important thing is if you sign up this month, it will not charge you until the end of the month, and then it starts next month instead. So that means you're not going to immediately be getting a bunch of things because Patreon does not collect donations. It's really hard to explain. I think Patreon has tried their best to put that into words, but even though they ask you for your payment information, if you were to check your bank account or your PayPal or your credit card record, you would see nothing come up, and you go, I don't get it. I signed up. I gave them my information. Why am I not getting charged anything? It's because they wait till the end of the month to see if our channel's even still here. Like, what happens if I shut down the channel tomorrow? It'd be weird of you to have like donated and then, we just vanish off the planet. So you don't get charged until the end of the month where they can prove, yes, they were here all month. They didn't close down their channel. They're still here. Now we'll collect your donation. So expect that that's going to take a while if you sign up. You're not going to immediately see some sort of a result. It will not collect a donation from you immediately. Yeah. If you want more information, there's a video all about Patreon on our Patreon thing that we made years ago, actually, and just updated. So take a look at that. Okay, super chats that I've been missing. I'm sorry.
Karen CL.
CL sounds good.
Oh, I'll let Gwen read that.
Oh, really?
Oh.
All right. I apparently get to compliment myself.
No, Karen is complimenting you.
Well, thank you, Karen. This is. Gwen has the nicest voice I've ever heard, and her acting is just as great. I really think she doesn't get enough credit for what she does.
Oh.
And you guys can, you specifically can say I don't get enough credit, but in general, I am honestly overwhelmed with the number of people who show up in the comments to say how much they like having me around, to say how much they enjoy listening to me, to say how much they liked watching whatever musical I was in. And you do a really fantastic job of making me feel like I belong here and like you like having me around, and that's awesome.
Surprise.
These guys do exactly the same thing.
We like to have
I
you around.
always feel like I get what I need out of being here. It's awesome.
Your voice is pretty good.
And then, Kinder Girl Gamer. You guys have amazing voices and amazing personalities.
Aw.
Thank you guys so much for making me laugh and making my whole day. Well, you haven't heard my voice, so.
They have in Phoenix Wright.
Got a little cash. That's true.
That's okay. Yes, that too.
I mean, Phoenix Wright is not.
You had some singing parts that sounded really good.
It was the judge.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can do the deep voice better. You have never probably heard my real voice in a musical. I always do character voices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Dr. Robotnik is not your real voice.
No, Granny's not my Tingle's not my real voice either.
Oh yeah, thank you. That's really nice. All these nice compliments.
I know.
Bismo Skittles also wanted to say, hello, thank you so much for everything you do. Question, who is your favorite Doki Doki Literature Club girl? Oh, that's going to be the most divisive question, and I'm going to rebound it back to you guys in the chat.
I mean,
We're going to find out who is your favorite DDLC girl. I want to know.
There's 4 of us here. I say we each just pick one.
We each just
And
pick
then,
one?
And
I
then
mean-
it's even.
I've never even played it.
I've never
so-
played the game either. I mean, I know people based it
Well, you played a character in it.
in the teaser. In the teaser.
You
Yeah, but
played
we
the
played the
player character,
in the musical.
which is like
The
playing.
player character in the musical is not a girl, though.
True. That's true.
Yeah.
I'm trying to come up with
So, Nate and I abstain.
Aw.
I will pick.
I was trying to think of a weird other character that doesn't show
Do
up.
they have random other
That's what
characters?
I was trying to figure out. I'm like, there's the Parfait girls, but we don't really know much about them.
Parfait beard.
There is a character in the book, right, that's got the eyeball on it. They
Oh,
talk,
you're right,
They talk
you're
about it,
right.
but I don't remember if they give them a name or anything. Some of these characters, the people in the chat that know the lore are going to be like, yes, it's this person, but why would anybody pick that as their favorite character?
You have one you usually say. We've had this question
I do.
before.
I like Natsuki. I think that's my favorite. Although Sayori is she's so cute. I wanted to keep that friendship open as long as I could. I don't know. They're all pretty good.
But Yuri reads books, and I love books, so.
Yeah, you would like.
I mean,
Yuri.
Natsuki does too, but.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I had this problem with Natsuki. I like how she's into cute things. I don't like how sassy and abrasive she is.
Someone just thought you were me.
And that's not me going, I wish she was like a pushover or something. I'm not looking for her to become a Fluttershy. But she errs on the side of picking on people in a mean way where it's she needs to stop using those insecurities to rip into other people. I would not put up with it, I'll be honest. I'd be like, no, this person is so grating and so demanding. I would just be like, you can go sit over here by yourself.
That's
So it's like I didn't want to reward her for treating people like crap, but I also was like,
Moose man.
Is the jump on your stuff.
yeah, he does. He uses your gear as a trampoline to get up and down.
I mean, I guess it's good that someone's using it.
There you go.
Oh.
Anyway,
Alright.
so yeah, I'm always torn about that question because I want to say Natsuki, but what are you doing, Neff and Joe?
They're asking about their Pokemon theories that they've been in the Discord, remember?
Oh,
Oh no.
why did you donate to do that?
So
Unnecessary.
we just got a donation from Neff,
Our moderator. Okay, well,
Um,
thank you for reminding us that there was an important question. Another one that we might have to bounce back to you guys. By the way, I feel like I saw a lot of Natsuki going on in here.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking that was. I think a lot of people agree with me.
Aw.
Okay.
People say so.
So the promised question. Where is it in the Discord now?
It's just. Oh, I don't.
Yeah.
The
trying to remember
question
where-
itself, I
is-
can bring it up.
Okay.
It's in the Patreon Discord.
So there's the live chat moderation. Yeah, I thought it was tagged someplace. She's gonna be like, yes, I put it right here.
Oh, she pinned it. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I was gonna say.
Whoa.
Yeah, this is long.
Basically,
Wow.
it was a question of
There was a question of the timeline of the Pokemon musicals, and there was
Okay.
a debate between Neff and Joe and Cataclysm, two of our, well, one's our
Oh, we
mod
won't-
and one's
yeah.
our
We're
another.
not supposed to tell which is which though.
Yeah, we're not going to say
Yeah.
which theory is which, but this theory says the timeline is Pokemon University, Dance of the Sugar Plum Clefairy, Magikarp, Zubat, Go Go Pokemon Go, Singachu, Cubone, Alola, Eevee, Detective Pikachu.
So
Should I read the descriptions as well, how they explain them, or should
I
we just do
completely
the Yes.
forgot that
the Okay.
Clefairy existed.
So this theory says in PokeU, they start with the professors. Clefairy trashes one of the students' houses while they are at school. Once that is done, we meet a nice fisherman with an obsession with Magikarp. He sees a Pikachu and, attempting to capture it, unwittingly sends out a Gyarados who flees after eating the Pikachu. The fisherman searches Mount Moon, a place where he meets Zubatman, and finally escapes to find a watch to help him catch a Pikachu. The Pikachu is set free because Clefairy gets captured by the fisherman. There, Pikachu decides to sing about his new carefree life until he is beaten and captured by Red, who uses him in Alola until he leaves to be a detective after being shown the rudeness of the other Pokemon. Clefairy was released about now, and now tries to win trainers' hearts back by performing for the fisherman after having been booted off his team. Gyarados, who was searching for his trainer, finally found the fisherman again. The Pikachu recruited here is still Detective Pikachu, he just doesn't have to leave yet. This is confusing. However, instead, Clefairy is chased out of the bar, killed in the back, and that's where Pikachu investigates. Instead of using several Pokemon, this theory puts as many Pokemon together as possible as opposed to making numbered entries of Pokemon.
Sure. Okay.
Disadvantage. This also assumes that the fisherman released Clefairy and that a second Clefairy imitates Pikachu in Singachu.
You guys think too much.
Yeah,
That's only one of the theories.
The second
though.
theory for the timeline,
Oh
Yep.
my gosh.
with the main point being that Detective Pikachu is unique, as in I think
Okay.
it's its own
A
Pikachu.
different Pikachu. Okay.
That timeline is Pokemon University, Dance of the Sugar Plum Clefairy, Singachu, Eevee, Detective Pikachu, Magikarp, Zubat, Pokemon Go, Cubone, Alola. PokeU is at the beginning where all the trainers started. They graduate, and that frees them up for their appearances in future musicals. While the trainers are away at school, Clefairy 1 trashes one of their houses. In Singachu, we have Pikachu 1 making his debut appearance. Clefairy 1 learns he loves to sing and heads over to the Gentleman's Club, the Eevee musical, to put on a performance. Also in the club, we see Fisherman Peter and a Gyarados who suspiciously eats Plusle, and Red is present with Mudkip. The Cubone we see briefly is presumably someone else's. Pikachu 1, who enjoys singing, is hanging out and gets recruited by Solid Snake at the end. Clefairy 1 gets offed after the Eevee musical, as seen in Detective Pikachu, which has Pikachu 2 in it. Pikachu 2 visits several locations, including the pond where Peter is fishing. In the Magikarp musical, we start off with Peter encountering Pikachu 1, who saw the wireframe at the end of Eevee and decided not to join Snake after all. Pikachu 1 gets eaten by Gyarados, we never see him again with Snake, do we? Much like Plusle was, and then disappears into Mount Moon, where Peter tries to chase it down in the Zubat song. Peter had the chance to catch Clefairy 2 in the Magikarp song, but refused. After leaving Mount Moon, he tries to catch a Pikachu, number 3, in Pokemon Go, but catches Clefairy number 2 instead. Red catches Pikachu number 3 in the Cubone musical and fights against Peter with his Clefairy 2. After dropping his Mudkip/Marstomp at the daycare center, Red focuses his attentions on Pikachu 3 as we see in the Alola musical. Disadvantage. This puts Zubatman appearing in Detective Pikachu before Peter encounters him in Mount Moon.
I'm gonna just leave again for 3 months.
Yes. Sorry
Okay,
to...
So one of these theories involves there being multiple of each Pokemon, and one of them involves it being the same Pokemon all the way through, right?
That seems to be
Right.
the primary
Okay.
differentiating factor.
So
That's a hinging element.
I am just personally gonna go with if you can make it the same Pokemon all the way through, that is the simplest explanation for things. And you
Occam's razor.
Exactly, and you should probably just go with that.
I disagree.
Oh,
I would disagree as well, mostly because I think Detective Pikachu is its own Pikachu.
I was gonna say you have to assume under they're the same Pokemon is that Pikachu dies at the end getting eaten by a Gyarados or lives because he somehow escapes the Gyarados after the Gyarados eats him and takes off, which means that would have to be the very last song, which doesn't make sense. I guess if Pikachu doesn't show up in any of the other ones, but I know from earlier on when we worked on these Pokemon things, I always imagined the fisherman ends up at the Eevee, the Gentleman's Club, in the Eevee song because he lost his Pikachu and then the Gyarados. And so he goes out drinking that night. He's had a rough day. And strangely enough, the Gyarados shows up at the same bar, but he's too drunk to notice. And that was always my opinion, was that those events actually correlate, where he ends up there because he's had such a bad day. Maybe the Zubat song fits in between them. I'm not actually sure. That could make sense that he shows up there, gets chased out of Mount Moon, and that just adds to how many bad things have happened to him that day.
I definitely think that the Zubat song happens before the Eevee song, personally.
Yeah, I could.
But I have not
see that.
looked at the entire group of Pokemon musicals in canon and tried to figure that out.
I think we could do a better.
You were on vacation for 3 months.
You could have solved these already.
Solved
Where are all the
great
answers?
What was I doing?
We should have sent you just for 3 months to research the Pokemon timeline.
You weren't
for us.
putting tacks in a board. This question's weird.
Yeah, I do like though. I think starting with Pokemon University on pretty much every level does make some sense.
Yes.
I can't dispute that does work, and that also frees up Professor Oak to say retire or something. Although he's still in Detective Pikachu, he works at the college still. So I guess he wouldn't have retired. He just goes out for drinks at night.
professors never retire. Professors get tenure and stay there forever.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think there are elements of both of those that actually do make sense. I would certainly not say that Detective Pikachu is the same Pikachu as the other ones. It's also unclear because the one in Singachu, if he's even a Pikachu, can actually talk and interact with people. But Detective Pikachu also can, but not at all the same way. And then the Pikachu in, say, the Magikarp song and those kind of ones doesn't talk to anybody at all.
We don't know if they can't or not, though.
Can't, chooses not to. I don't know. The one in Singachu is so yucky and actively I don't know. And Detective
they do have
Pikachu doesn't.
substantially different personalities.
Yeah. So I would say that it's possible that there's several Pikachus going on at once. I don't know about the Clefairies. I haven't really considered how many Clefairies there are in the world. I don't know. It's all good questions.
I just want to take 1 second to remind you guys to respect your moderators, both by following their rules and also listening to them when they answer your questions. I've seen one question get asked 5 times, and the moderators, both of them, answer it. I know we're not getting to it, and I apologize. Sometimes that's because we've answered it many times before, and sometimes that's because we're just busy answering something else. But please, they're there to be helpful to you.
Yeah.
Listen to them.
Yeah, and it's possible they've even asked that question before and have the answer. So definitely what they say is probably as accurate as you're going to get of an answer. In fact, they may say it better than we could. Yeah.
Halo Gamer was a super chat that we haven't actually acknowledged yet.
Oh.
I'm so sorry.
So
Hi, Halo.
Halo wants to know if we're going to have a part 2 of any of our musicals.
Can we twist it around and say, are there any musicals we'd like to do? If we were going
Sure.
to do a part 2, which one would we do a part 2 of?
I mean, technically, we've just had a part 2. we're coming up to a part 3 of a musical right now.
I
Oh,
was
that's
thinking that.
true. Team
I'm
two.
like, yeah, doing a heavy and emetic thing is
Yeah.
like a part 3 of a
Hi,
series
Vinfi.
now.
Vinfi's
Vinfi.
here.
Vinfi is also a mod.
Good to
guys,
see you, buddy.
So respect him and stuff.
What other part 2s do we have that we? I'm even thinking about what we have done a part 2 of. We did a continuation of Hello Neighbor already.
FNAF, obviously.
FNAF has had it's had several parts now.
I
And Pokemon gets more
Yeah.
parts.
So you could say
As we just
yearly.
went through.
you could
Phoenix Ray.
Yeah, I was gonna say Phoenix Wright is technically 3 parts.
Hello Neighbor technically got a part 2.
That's what I said. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. What do we want to do a part 2 of that doesn't have one? Do you want to do Granny part 2? People have asked for it. I'm like, what do you do? Granny sits home alone and is sad, like has a sad song
Aw.
with her pee stain.
Oh.
Nobody.
I mean, there are
loves
things
me.
that I would like the outcome if we had part 2s, but I don't think that, like, okay, so this is gonna be weird. Like, we're not confirming it, we're not doing it. I don't think we'll ever do it. But I think visually a Bendy 2 would be fun.
Oh yeah.
Uh-huh.
But we
I thought you
don't
were
want
gonna
to
say Tingle
no,
too.
no, we don't want to do the stop motion again.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Bendy didn't get as much interest as we thought it would.
Yeah.
So that's kind of 2 factors as to why we probably won't do one.
Mm-hmm. But
But,
you're
like,
right. That would be a good.
Having
one
another
to-
stop motion is always like I liked
Yeah.
the outcome of Bendy, so having another one would be cool. But
Yeah, I like what we made. I think it could easily turn into a second episode, but doing it just ourselves for like 4 months again is like such a nightmare kind of
I know, we'll
process.
just make a video game. That's not been done before.
We'll make a Bendy game, yes.
I mean, talking about part 3s, doing a Resident Enos part 3,
Yeah.
this actually comes up. Probably a bunch of you have already asked for it. We would love to do a part 3 of Resident Enos. I think one day. But that's a very complicated series because it's not even something that we have the direct control over. We would have to, if we want to make it right, we need to be able to say, Mark, will you give up at minimum 2 days to come do a project for Random Encounters? And get Dodger to get the same 2 days and give those up, even though she has a child now. So it's not an easy thing just to beg those huge favors off of other YouTubers and say, can you leave your job for a bit? Can you, get somebody else to take care of your child for a bit to come be part of, a project that's honestly pretty demanding. These are not easy, Enos is not an easy thing to film. Yet, I think the storyline would really benefit from having a part 3.
Aw.
Yeah, so hopefully one day we can figure out a good way to do that still without saying, oh, and then Mark and Dodger die and Enos wanders around by himself and sings.
I mean,
That'd be weird.
Obviously, we can't promise this, but AJ had talked to me about basically converting some of the storylines that we have into little video games and essentially having
So, like,
episodes, chapters of Resident Enos as video games. And it would be a lot easier to just walk into Mark's place after agreeing, obviously, and
No, just walk into his place. What are you doing here?
Yeah,
I'm here to record you.
he'd probably say okay.
Yeah.
But and record Mark and Dodger, in the safety of their own home, and they don't have to. Dodger doesn't have to worry about abandoning her baby for 2 days.
Voice acting is so much easier to ask somebody to do than like come out on set, wear a costume, carry me across the street.
So that's also kind of like in the back of our heads.
Yeah, we've also talked about continuing Enos as like a graphic novel where you could, and I know there are fan comics out there that are actually really awesome. We've got one framed upstairs that somebody sent us that's fantastic. So that's also possible, and I know people have even written fan fiction. So you could continue that without having to do a live action musical number. I just don't know what the likelihood is. But I don't think any of us want to make a third one that doesn't have Mark and Dodger in it. So until the day that we have a good way to include them and they say yes to it, that's not still on the table, I think, for any of us. Anything else that would be a fun part 2?
I
Or
keep seeing people ask for Yandere too, and I know you guys had tossed around a while the idea
Okay.
of a Rivals song,
yeah,
and I think we can all agree that would be fun.
that would be. Yeah. Again, no promises, but
They just want to see more people murdered.
you guys just want to see people die all the time. What's with
Wendy's
that?
wants us to make a Yandere too, so she can be murdered.
Please.
InfoChan, I don't think is ever going to get murdered.
Aw.
Unless there's something you guys know about the game and I
Really?
don't.
You think she won't get annoying enough that somebody stops saying shut up and starts making her shut up?
I mean, in the game, she's pretty untouchable. So it'd be pretty out there to be like, and on ours we just killed her instead. But it's more likely she would be the murderer.
Penelope and Mr.
Okay, I'm
Mouse
okay with
are
that
cuddling
too.
over your cats in the
Oh,
Aw.
you cats! I just wheel them over on camera. Look at these cuddling cats. Keep seeing people go Baldy too. I want to see more Baldy's basics. I wouldn't know what to do with that. He hasn't even added anything else to the game yet, right? So there's not like characters we missed.
Ugh.
Yeah, I don't know. And so just to stoke the fans a little
Oh,
bit,
wait.
Oh no.
I would like more FNAF the musical, even though we tied it off pretty well. I think it'd be really fun to ever come back to.
I thought you were gonna say more Undertale because someone sits in
Ah.
Oh,
Undertale.
fair.
Okay. Well, I think doing more FNAF the musical would be fun, but again, the number of people you'd have to get involved, and they've all made it clear they're pretty done with the FNAF boat, except apparently Mark will still play the game if he has to.
Matt Pat was playing it the other day too.
Yeah. So, I mean, it would be fun to get some of them back and do a follow-up, series about what happens after the events of FNAF the musical, because I'm attached to the characters just like some of you guys are, and yet I think our story really resolved it fairly effectively and moved on. So
Springtrap is not attached to himself.
Oh.
that's right. And on Patreon, we have promised people to repair him finally, because it's been years, and his head is still in a separate piece. Spoilers. So actually, that's one of those, just to plug Patreon again, we have fun little goals over there that you can help us complete. And the idea is to not just make them, something we do behind the scenes, but actually document some of them and possibly do even fun things as we're, completing these little projects that you guys help fund. So take a look at our Patreon sometime. There's a new one about Baldi's Basics over there that you guys might enjoy. The last one was FNAF the musical centric and about our friend Springtrap reattaching his head. We'll see what happens. Speaking of which, we're still scheduling that, by the way. His operation has a rough calendar date right now.
man.
Yeah,
We
just have
call
it's
the
not-
surgeon. He's
yeah,
a
we
wonderful
booked the
surgeon.
surgeon.
And it's not like 6 months ahead of time like real healthcare.
No,
Oh.
yeah, he's able to get in with like no insurance or anything. Or
Well, he's not gonna get like anesthesia
No,
either.
he's not.
He's
If
just
it's-
gonna get strapped to the table and poked to
Hold
death.
still, I'm gonna stick your head back on. Pony Gaming, hi. There's no
Thanks for
question.
the super
Thank you
chat.
for the super chat. That's
we usually
awesome.
do that. They host another question.
Oh
right?
yeah,
So,
sponsoring somebody else's question. Pony Gaming wants to answer somebody's question.
Spider question.
Arms 2. That's not,
Arms
that's
2?
not the sponsored question.
No, but
There you go.
what fun that
Sponsored
would
question. Lack-a-lad. How long does it take to record and shoot a musical?
be. Depends on the musical. Definitely. I mean,
So something like so past few months have been a little crazy, obviously. Cuphead was like 5 months and that was animated, so there was not even filming. It took that long to do all the elements put them together. Detective Pikachu took us 3 weeks maybe? I want to say. We're
sounds about right.
putting it together from the end of
Yeah.
Cuphead onward. Granny took us 2 weeks, I feel like. We had that up really fast after. And then Baldi we jumped into, but we had E3 in the middle of that. So we got back from E3, had 1 day to finish it, and then jumped on a set without a finished song and put together Baldi. So that one was 2 or 3 weeks. I would say, generally speaking, when we're on our game, we can do it in about a week. We've done it before with, I want to say, maybe the Wario Rap. I think Companion Cube, we did it in 4 or 5
I
days.
say arms we did
Yeah.
super fast.
Determined
Arms
to the end. You did
Determined to
really
the
fast?
end. Yeah, we even reshot that one of the days
Yeah.
because so much of the footage. And this is, unfortunately, if you haven't prepped enough, sometimes you get to the editing stage and you go, what have we made? I don't know how to make this work. And then you go, okay, let's just tweak this and move that here and fix that. And so we've done that a couple times. Determined to the end, we actually went out and filmed a bunch of the stuff a second time and went,
Yeah.
this will be way better if we just plan out the things that didn't work and do them a little better this time.
We're actually in pre-production of one musical that is going to probably come out in November.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know how much I can share about that, so I'm not going to. But
yeah, that's Patreon. I think has heard a little bit. They're gonna see more.
Mhm.
There's another one like that I think is aiming for September right now.
So sometimes we're intentionally planning on making it a long process,
Yeah.
and so hopefully we start that early enough that we
Yeah.
get it up in time.
Yeah. For example, October is going to be an interesting one because that's usually Halloween. So we'll probably be planning for some scary game to make into a musical. But it's also a month where Gwen and I get married and have a honeymoon planned and are going to be out of the country for a bit while trying to finish not only the musical, but Nate's got his series Shovel Werewolf that's always going around Halloween. So there's a lot going on in October that we have to plan way far in advance and start working on.
Yeah, I think we've already tossed around ideas for October, which we don't usually do this far in advance. And like,
Yeah, let's talk about it in July. I think we're talking about in June, technically. We started like
yes, we
from,
were talking about it in
yeah,
June.
going, what do we make for Halloween this year? Yeah, so it depends. Sometimes it goes months of production. Sometimes it's literally less than a week.
Octodad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but we try to do them. It's generally on average about 2 or 3 weeks it takes to make one of these.
Which is why they go up every month. That gives a comfortable amount of time
Comfortable.
to try and get
No
it
one's
done.
like dying inside from this process, right? We're all dying inside from this process.
I know we have
All of us.
a couple of super chats here we should run through.
Thank you. Yeah, absolutely.
Emily Collins. Hi, Emily. Always good
Hi.
to hear from you. I went to a circus thing today, so I thought of a
Cool.
question linked. If you could be any circus act, what would you be?
Mm.
I'd be an aerial act.
That's cool. Like a Little Mermaid act.
No, like
Oh.
trapeze, high
Oh.
flying,
What?
air,
A,
like
a Little Mermaid
Oh,
on a
yeah.
trapeze.
Oh, okay. Got it.
I would be the flying elephant act.
the.
Well, you're
I'm
not
sorry.
an
Are you
elephant.
Dumbo?
Yes.
It had gigantic
Take off
ears.
the
Oh, and
I made the dumb act.
Um,
That's the act I would be.
I would be anything but the clowns because somebody
Clowns are
that I
spooky.
like doesn't like clowns.
Clowns are terrifying.
Probably I'd be the lion tamer. That actually does sound fun.
Let me know if you guys are afraid of clowns. I'm more afraid of clowns than lions, I think.
I want to be the guy who juggles chainsaws. With like a baby in there too.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
I mean, I can't physically do anything that they do,
The freak
but
show.
I would definitely be part of Cirque du Soleil.
Cirque du
Oh,
Soleil.
yeah, they're
'Cause
awesome.
that's just gorgeous. I got to
Mm.
see them once live, and I was like, I can't believe humans do this.
Okay.
It's
Maybe
a circus.
Maybe the robots.
It
It
is.
counts.
It's literally called Cirque du Soleil. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whitney.
I said maybe they're robots.
Oh, I saw the animatronics that Disney's
Yeah,
making
you
that
saw
can
that
like
thing?
time their jumps and
Yeah.
like
Wow.
measure where they have to grab
Disney's
the land.
got like stunt animatronics now.
Excellent.
It's fantastic. Pirates of the Caribbean is gonna be so different next time we
I
like.
think they're putting them on that ride.
No, they're gonna like launch over your boat and like grab
they're
people's
for the
hats
live
and
shows.
stuff. Like the
Um,
pirates attacked me.
Okay, I just want to grab this before it leaves. B is here. Wants to know if Katy Perry has responded to Nate.
What?
Since talking on the birthday
live
live
stream,
stream.
they were trying to hook me up with Katy Perry.
Yeah,
hashtag Nady Perry.
I don't think I remember.
I
to
have not
tweet
heard
at her.
anything from Katy Perry, so
She didn't
sorry.
watch that stream, unfortunately. She watches all the
She's-
other ones, but not
She's
that
too
one.
busy doing something else with her life.
Yep. But we'll keep hoping.
Nady
keep our
Perry is
fingers
definitely
crossed.
still a thing.
Sure. Yeah.
I want Nady Perry to come to the wedding. Okay, so make this
I
happen.
don't think
that's gonna happen.
We need her to come to the wedding.
Now you're on a.
Hey, you
Time
never
for
know.
it.
I could
Wow.
tweet at her and
Do it.
You don't have a Twitter.
I don't. That's true.
Ah. Maybe
That's,
I will
that's
tweet.
the thing all the kids do nowadays,
tweet.
right? You tweet at like The Rock to
Celebrities.
see if he can come to
Come to
your
your
prom.
Yeah, take me to prom. It
Um,
works too, doesn't it?
Edgeworth says hi to everyone.
Hi,
Oh.
Edgeworth. And by Edgeworth, I mean John.
John.
She just saw John at you.
Appreciate that.
No,
Yeah.
I heard.
There was another super chat
Yes,
we missed.
Ren the Weeb asked, "How can we volunteer to help?" Which is awesome and very sweet.
Yeah, thank you for wanting to help. I know there's a bunch of you guys actually that like what we do and think it'd be really fun to participate. There's not a really good answer. The best thing you can do usually outside of watch the videos, get the songs, or stream them on Spotify for free or things like that. If you want to actually be part of the process, first of all, make sure you have made something before. If that's you want to voice act, make sure you have made a voice acting reel or show an animation that you voiced in or something like that. It doesn't even have to be a good animation as long as you're a good voice actor. We'll still hear that. And if you're like a singer, then send us like songs that you have sung. And when I say send us those things, send us an email with a link on like YouTube to what you've done, or maybe SoundCloud if that's where you're a musician or something. we have kind of an open door policy of always checking these things.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean we're like necessarily looking for somebody or that we're going to say yes. But it's something we tried. I now have a folder on the computer to keep things in that we get from you guys so that we don't lose track of you, or that I can touch base with you in the future again, maybe.
And just to give you a sense of what
Yeah.
what we could be looking for if you have, I guess, the credentials to back it up is, singers, voice actors, animators, probably some kind like web designers, stuff like that. We're looking towards being interested in.
I'm most eager to see animation. To be honest.
Biggest is animation. That's gonna
Always
be the,
animators.
It's gonna be the fastest. Like this is really helpful.
Yeah, that really stepped up after people complained about Cuphead because I believed that we could make something satisfactory, and then after Cuphead took so much flack, I was like, well, I don't want to put in that much work again and have people yell at me. Let's find other people that actually do this and see if we can get them to help us out instead. And I'm happy to say that we have a couple animators that we're working with now. So yeah, if you animate especially, please let us know. But we do accept things like voice reels, acting reels, things like that. And we don't require them to be a special format or something. Just email them to us as like a link.
Yeah, I was gonna say voice and animation are probably more likely. Acting wise, I mean, if you're not near us, then it's very slim.
Yeah, I think if you go to I think it's linked in the description, the Random Encounters like frequently asked questions document. I believe we outlined about 5 things, maybe that never made it in there, that were like the most likely things to get a collaboration with us. And they were things like, how really impressively good are you at what you do? Do you have an audience that would cross promote with, Random Encounters that we gain new followers from, and you would as well? How close by are you? Because physically, if you live down the street, it's much more likely for us to be like, hey, do you want to come over and just be in the background of a musical and show what you can do a little bit? I forget what some of there's, like I said, I think there's 5 factors that we look at. And if you're really, like Jacksepticeye lives on the other side of the planet from us, but he's a really well-respected and beloved guy who's got some talent. And so if we have the opportunity to work with him, even though he's as inconvenient to get on set as anybody anywhere will be, he is still worth trying to work with. And so you might be the polar opposite where you might have 0 followers, but you live next door. And that makes you still just as valuable to us to get in touch with. Take a look at that document, maybe. We missed another couple
We did.
chats.
I was gonna see if we could alternate a little bit because we've been
Oh, sure.
spending a lot of
Is
time.
there one on here? Or do you want me to-
Yeah, Angela Tabone asked, how long did it take to make first prize? And I'm really glad you noticed we made first prize ourselves.
You can't buy those in stores.
You
Too
we
dangerous.
tried.
Too dangerous.
I want to say
They
I
hug you
made
too
that
much.
over 3 days, mostly because I was waiting on paint to dry at certain steps and because I had to go to work in between making it. You
How
probably
dare
could make it in a day if you had fast enough drying paint. And as long as you can cut PVC pipe fast enough. So I don't think it took incredibly long.
Okay. It did turn out pretty good. Like I said, we've got a thing on Patreon about, actually it's going to be modifying first prize a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, we want to give him
So-
some new skills.
So maybe we say he's not complete yet. Maybe it's
No.
going to take a few more days
Oh.
to make him.
I was gonna say, he's over.
I have
Oh, no.
idea
He's
what
also-
first prize is.
He's also a little
It's
dismantled.
not heavy, right?
I didn't actually.
Oh, it's the robot thing.
I will hug you for all eternity.
Okay. Sorry. How dare you? I was on break.
How did you watch that?
I would have
Oh, I want
He's in pieces. He's in pieces.
Oh no, what have I done?
No.
That's
Now
okay.
you've made
It's
a
alright.
mess.
We can fix him. It can be fixed.
He's
We
in
have the
pieces
technology.
because he didn't fit in the car, not in pieces.
He did.
Yeah,
That
sorry,
was my
so-
bad.
I've
I'll
never
put him on
seen that
the-
before.
Oh gosh, no.
Never
Oh,
seen
gosh.
him before.
Yeah, I've never seen it. I didn't watch Baldy.
He can sit here
Oh,
and
well.
do the chat with us.
So-
Who's got a question for first
Does
prize?
he have to?
Hello, I want to answer your questions.
Well, Amy Brown wanted to ask what our most random encounter was. Is this our most random encounter?
Hello, this is your most random encounter. I will hug you for all eternity.
Oh,
Come here, let me hug you.
You have a problem.
Okay, anybody else have a random encounter that they want to tell Amy about? Oh gosh.
Not really. I kind of hide in my house, and
Don't
Just-
encounter things.
yeah, I try to encounter as little as possible in my life.
The first time I ever got recognized in public was in a bathroom. That was probably a very random encounter.
Doesn't get
It
more
was
random.
it was very strange. It was very pleasant and flattering after I realized what was going on. But in the middle of it was like, this is a bathroom. Okay.
And it wasn't a convention or anything.
It was a convention.
Oh, it was.
Yeah.
But I wasn't on the channel much.
Yeah,
I
you've
didn't
been in,
think
like,
I
2
was really
videos.
recognizable.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So
That's really funny.
Didn't stop them from knowing who you were, though.
no.
No.
You had a random encounter in which you were declared a prince once. Is
Ah!
that your most random encounter?
It is probably the most random
Oh,
encounter.
boy.
Hobo guy.
And I have nothing to show for it, but I was deemed the sparkly man prince of light. And it included a ring. I had a special gold ring that had like little diamonds all over it. It was probably fake, but
I hope it was fake.
if
Diamond plate.
I always said that the guy was gonna wake up the next morning like hungover and like realize his jewelry was missing, but who took my effing ring? And be like so upset. And be like, you gave some weird guy a ring in the middle of the night while they were filming.
I mean, if he thought to name you the sparkly man prince of light and like go over his ring,
Seemed
I
it
think
was-
that's
he
on
did.
him.
Important.
Yeah, but so I am the sparkly man prince of light.
Not anymore. You don't have the ring.
You're right. It's supposed to be passed down. That's the most frustrating part. He told me the ring had to be passed down from one to the next. He said that, and he gave me the gold ring to wear, and I don't know where the ring is. So I can only hope it's been passed down from one to the next.
You're a terrible.
Or else I was the final
You're a
sparkly man
lousy
prince.
leader.
No one will ever be the sparkly man prince of light again. The chain stopped with me.
I saw actually a
How
question for
embarrassing.
first prize over there, unless somebody else has a random encounter they want to talk about.
Anybody else?
No. Go ahead.
Where is it?
Up
And while she's doing that,
First
There.
time.
oh, never mind. Go
well,
ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna read the next super chat,
Oh, sure, do it.
Oh, we don't care.
but I shouldn't because
Oh.
I don't know him.
Aw.
It's
cool.
Maltonio. Maltonio.
Maltonio. Hey, buddy.
I
Mal-
feel like you see him every month.
Yes.
Yeah, he does. He shows up on this thing every
Maltonio.
month.
We've actually played Splatfest with Maltonio.
It's
Oh,
true.
nice.
Not
Maltonio
well, but-
says, "Can't wait to see you guys in a week."
Because he's going to be at
He's gonna
Connecticut.
be at Connecticut.
He's
He's
gonna be our
gonna
hand-
be our handler again.
We were
Yeah.
just talking, me and AJ, yesterday, the day before, about how excited we were to see you again. So
Yeah.
Does that mean you're picking us up at the airport?
please
I
pick us
assume
up at
so.
the airport.
I expect it. I expect that you're going to pick us up from that airport because I don't want to walk.
Yeah. And we're excited to see anybody else that's going to Connecticut. If you're going to be
Yes.
there, we would love to meet you, love to see you at a panel.
And you guys
or
can
at
meet
a signing
Maltonio,
session. Yeah.
or he can shoo you away if you get too like scary and dangerous.
I can ask-
don't get
scary
don't
and
get rowdy,
dangerous.
I can
okay?
ask him for a lemon water.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
The question for first prize was, do you want to hug people because you just want to be loved?
Yes. That
if he
is.
could nod his head, he would nod his
I
head.
would nod my head. Yes. I think first prize. He just wants love, and people are so spooked by him. No one wants to hug him.
I mean, to be fair, it's a little difficult to hug something that square. He's a little big. I can't
Yeah.
really get my arms around him well.
And he's
I
pretty
mean-
pushy.
And
you
he
ever-
doesn't hug back.
Have
He
you ever?
just... Yeah.
I mean, have you considered he doesn't have a choice? Like he's programmed to want love.
Yeah, it's kind of sad.
He doesn't have a choice.
But
He
are we
has to.
all programmed to want to be loved?
Not all of us.
Are we?
I don't know.
No.
We're not programmed.
If you don't like, okay, no. On a basic level,
No.
not even like romantic level, are there people that do not want anyone to appreciate or like them?
I believe so.
You think so?
I believe so.
I mean,
Is
Not
it-
many.
Okay.
On the spectrum of humanity... Oh, Mr. Moose.
Are you stuck on the? Okay, thank you. Why are you doing this? He
I-
even knows. He's like, I'm not supposed to be scratching the screen.
Come here.
They caught me.
Aw. But yeah, I totally believe that there are a few people, but not many at all.
Yeah, I was thinking, even though like trolls, the purpose of them is to get attention, or
Sure.
like even if they want bad attention, it's because they want to feel important to somebody. I guess that's different from love.
But the
Yeah.
people who don't,
Mm.
who might not want attention or love, are people you're not going to see.
Fair enough.
Like, why would you? Because they're not putting themselves out there to be noticed or seen or loved.
Right, but it can be the difference of like I want people to like respect me or want to do good things to me, but I don't want to have the social interaction aspect of it. I don't. Again, I guess maybe I'm trying to break down like, is it possible to say that being loved is being valued in the world? Do you want people to recognize that you have value, but you don't want people to like express it in any conventional way? You just want to know and have that trust that you matter. I don't know.
I think it would be naive to assume that it's impossible to not want love.
Yeah, I think
Essentially.
understanding how many people there are on the planet and how much deviation
Sure.
there actually is in
Yeah.
behavior.
Yeah.
It's impossible to say there's not one person out there who, honest to God, does not want any kind of love, affection, or appreciation.
Yeah.
On average, yes, we are
How long
definitely
do
wired
they
to want
last?
that.
Is part of my question. I
Oh,
think. Anyway.
that got weirdly deep.
Yeah, it did.
Thanks for asking questions that we tangent off.
First
in weird
prize.
directions.
First prize. Why you do this to us?
All right, what else do we got?
Hey, buddy. 105.
Oh, is it 105?
Well, let's get like one more and then we'll call it.
Okay, who wants to ask our last question?
I keep
Anybody
seeing this
got
desire for
something really
Mario
pressing?
Tennis the musical.
Well,
Another question for first prize. Could you please get out of my nightmares? Thanks. He will do his best.
You know,
He's on his
Kate.
way.
You know, Kate. There's no promises. He doesn't take orders. He's programmed to just hug for all eternity.
But he isn't programmed to be in her nightmares, though. So,
Even in the nightmares, he's
Oh.
programmed. He's Freddy Krueger on a set of wheels
aw.
with no applause, just hugging.
what about this one?
Okay.
Uh,
Question for all from Brookie Dawaguki.
Dorky Des Cookie.
I like that. Brookie Dawaguki. What was the hardest role you had to play throughout your Random Encounters career?
And I think we can probably open that up to, like, thing you've had to do for a musical in general. Like, not necessarily just a character, if you'd prefer not to.
yeah,
Sure.
well, I mean, role is, it doesn't actually mean only
Sure.
character anyway, so.
Yeah.
All right. Who has one right off the bat?
Animator and renderer for Monkey Ball might be up top on that. Which is funny because nowadays I think I'm talented enough and knowledgeable enough that it wouldn't be that bad.
Yeah.
But back then I knew so little and I was just like scraping the bottom of my knowledge that it was impossible.
It turned out actually pretty good, you know, considering that.
Uh-huh.
And also the fact that like the technology we had at the time
Yeah,
is dramatically, you know, weaker than I think what we're operating on
it's
now.
true.
I don't know for sure the specifics, but I imagine that like the comparison would be like worse than the computer I'm on right now, right? We've evolved a couple computers since.
Well, here's the weird thing about that kind of software. The requirements for your computer in some ways actually go down over time as well. So like,
Okay.
because, you know, it's not just the computer that gets more powerful, but also the software gets better written. So we were using older software at the time as well that was worse written for worse hardware.
It's just a winning combination.
So yeah, that was it's amusing.
Still.
I'm not sure.
Plus, it was really hot in the render room.
I mean, if conditions are.
Yes.
Friday the 13th was a bit
It's cool down.
touch and go for me at least. It was
Oh.
freezing. It was late at night.
Yeah.
It was, and I think we shot my scene last, and I like remember being like, great, it's gonna be the coldest part of the night, and it's when I take off my coat so I can be in costume to do this last little bit.
Yeah, it was. It was like 4 a.m. or something.
Yeah. Although honestly, I think the like waiting for that to happen, the anticipation
Is
was
worse.
worse than
Yeah.
actually doing it. I remember like peeling out of my coat and being like, "Oh, I'm gonna freeze to death," and then being like, "Oh, I'm fine.
Yeah,
All
when
right,
you
this
start
is okay."
when you start acting, you kind of forget that you're cold because you're so like focused on
Yeah.
doing the lines and like showing the right movements and the choreography and stuff.
Yep.
I realized that the hardest role I think for me, again, not an acting role, unfortunately. That's probably more fun to hear about. Would be trying to do sound mixes on these ones while Peter's been gone. Because I sat and I did the YouTube tutorials and the websites and the dictionaries about limiters and compressors and, you know, the different settings about mixing music and getting the levels of, you know, recording to match, you know, your instrumentals and stuff. And it just doesn't come naturally to me. And it's something I really don't enjoy at all. So yeah, that is the hardest thing. And
Well, I will be taking that back from you.
Yeah,
Shame
anything that we can offer back to somebody who's actually like trained and experienced and knows what he's doing instead of me doing it is a huge plus in my head. The hardest thing. You would not believe how difficult it is to get your song to be loud enough without clipping. Such a nightmare. I never would have imagined it'd be so difficult to get a good healthy level without it just turning into a big box of music.
I think when you do sound and music, like mixing and stuff, you might actually complain as much as I do when I'm acting.
Ooh.
Probably.
So
Yeah.
clearly, we
Because
should,
it's fair to say that maybe I just hate acting so much that I didn't even consider that.
I mean,
my
yeah,
answer.
Nate saw me spend an entire day. It was like 12 hours of me just going from this seat down here up the stairs to listen to the track on my bad speakers, and then be come back downstairs and try a bunch of different things. Come back down.
yes, he turned into a Muppet.
I did like
guys.
12 revisions of like stupid Granny or Baldy being like, and I come back and be like, it doesn't get better. It's never better. That's the opposite of the life lesson. That it does get better in life, but it doesn't get better when you mix sound levels.
It gets better when you appreciate
Ah!
how much somebody else can do for you when they just come back in and push the right buttons because they know it. They've been
And
trained.
I kept
They're
saying,
awesome.
I'm like, Peter just knows the settings, so he could be like, boop, 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 and like pop out something that's like usable. And I'm like, I spent 12 hours trying to get something that still didn't end up as good. This is the difference of what feels like a 20-minute process to him and a 12-hour process for me. And still being like, why did his 20 minutes get spent so much better than my 12 hours?
Because there was 7 years of practice before.
Yeah, don't dismiss but as I was telling people the other day, there's a talent element, just like the animation thing in our Cuphead Comments video. There is an element of just talent and ability, and Peter has more talent at this than I do. So even if I can learn the steps or like understand the mechanics, doesn't mean I'll be good at it the way he's good at it. And I can live with that. It's difficult to live with that if I don't have Peter, but I can live with the concept.
Nate,
I know. There's a cat that made a poop.
It's like somebody smells.
A cat made a poop.
Um,
It's gross.
To me, the most difficult thing isn't a role either. I feel like it's singing for me. Like, there's a reason I don't sing in songs. It's because I can't sing. I can't. I can understand the concept of how my voice is supposed to go, but when I add a layer of like doing a voice on top of it, like I just can't get it. It's why I only do like 2 or 3 lines a song, or like Tingle is like intentionally bad, but I sing the whole thing. Like, Mr. Moose is whiny.
Do you know which musical would have been the hardest, like, to do your performance in? That you feel like you had to do the most takes for?
I don't know. We still probably took the longest on Tingle, because I just give lines.
yeah.
I mean, strangely, there's like a cat hair everywhere. Strangely for Phoenix Wright, I feel like I did okay on that.
Yeah.
Like that voice was easy for me to do and sing at the same time. I don't remember Sonic Boom. I don't remember how long that recording took, but
It was a little tough, but I think we were more lenient
Mm-hmm.
because we knew that Dr. Eggman can,
Yeah.
it's not super critical how beautiful his voice is. Yeah, I was just debating if Phoenix Wright was my hardest acting role because that character is such like he's a little like the audience's like point of view a lot of the time, and mixing that with going when you see him in a case, he has really specific gestures that you want to like recapture. I don't know. I found that to be a hardly neutral role. He's not crazy. He's not super funny. He's not always serious, and balancing all of those things makes him actually a lot more complicated for me to do.
I was just thinking I said earlier that we haven't heard my actual voice in anything, but that's a lie. My actual voice is in DDLC.
Yeah,
That's actually,
you're right.
and I feel like that was something that we took a lot of takes on,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't like it originally. I felt like one of my lines was really auto-tuned,
Mhm.
but then we re-recorded it
Yeah.
because it was taken differently, and I was like, I can do that better, I feel like,
Yeah.
and it
Yeah.
sounded better,
Yeah, I did.
but
Yeah.
By the way, thank you, Griffin Gamer, for your
Yes,
super
thank
chat.
you.
I know you don't have a question, but I thank you.
Yeah, appreciate that. Anybody else have anything they want to add, or is that?
I think we might be
All done.
I know, it's so sad.
I
But We'll
know.
be back next month.
It's true. We do these once a month on the first
Or
Saturday.
we'll see you at Kineticon if you're going.
I was gonna say
I won't.
Hartford, Connecticut. Peter's gonna be here, but
Peter will be here probably.
hopefully
mixing
he's
the
got some music.
for
yeah.
whatever our
Hopefully.
what our project is. We already told, but
I want to welcome anybody who's new to the channel because we haven't really done that before. But
There
I
are
know,
like 500,000 of you.
yeah, there's a lot of people that haven't been here in past months for other live chats, or are just maybe even today
yeah,
finding the
there
channel.
were
for the
definitely a
first
few
time.
comments that were like, "Who's Peter?"
Yeah, I saw
I'm like,
that.
well, if you watch something beyond like what you joined and go back and check out like all 100 something
Yeah.
of our previous
I was
stuff,
gonna say
you'll
he's
see
not.
a lot of
You don't
Peter.
see him in like any of the musicals from 2018.
I also
So, look
saw
earlier.
a comment that accidentally mistook Nate for me.
Oh.
So they were talking about, hey Nate, will you help me out with my video game? It was amusing. I was amused.
Yeah. So yeah, if you just joined the channel, welcome. Stick around because we've got some cool stuff coming up, including a Team Fortress 2 song this month, which I know it's kind of an older game, but I think it's still got some fans, and we've had a lot of fun making musicals for it in the past, and wanted to continue expanding our canon with yet another TF2 character. So we got what? Medic, Scout, and now we're moving into the Heavy. So we got 3 of them. There's only like 5 left, right? Maybe one day we'll get around to the rest. Oh, we even include the Spy in one. He's shown up a little bit in one of them too. Yeah. Anything else? Anything else? ConnectCon next week. Hope to see you there.
I'm not sure. Aiden may have had something. I saw him typing in Discord, but
Oh, okay.
now he's not typing, so never mind.
Well, thank you to our mods for helping. This was actually a good system of helping keep us on point because there's a lot of you guys in the chat and it's tough for us to keep track of y'all. But and thank you to you guys for your patience while we get to your questions. If we didn't get to any of them, you might have noticed we do comments videos on the channel sometimes, and you can actually try to get your comments about a specific musical read in one of those videos. There's no secret, just leave a really good comment. For example, I can tell you, we haven't done one for Baldi's Basics in Learning and Education yet. So if you have a
Get
question
your
about
comments in.
that musical, now's the time. Go leave a comment on that one, and maybe it'll get read in the comments video for Baldi's. And I think that's it today.
All right. Thanks for
Yeah.
tuning in, guys, and we will see you next month.
AJ, beard salute! Namaste, bye to all the people. Rosaroni, Aquagata.